Hey guys, so with the draft lottery just passing, I felt like it was appropriate to go back to last year's draft and grade each lottery pick. So that's what we're doing in today's video. Before we start, if you like NBA content, you should subscribe. Also, if you enjoy the video, please leave a like. If this video gets 75 likes, I will do these kind of grading videos for other draft classes. Alright, now to start off the video, we will look at the first pick of last year's draft in Zion Williamson. So not much to say here, drafting Zion was obviously a great move, and giving this selection an A+ was an easy decision. Now let's move on. Okay, so the second guy chosen in this draft was Morant. Now, like Zion, the choice of selecting Ja was obviously very smart, and giving this selection an A+ grade was an easy decision. Don't worry guys, I promise the rest of the video will be more interesting and not so lopsided. Alright, now the third guy chosen in this draft was Barrett. So this one is kinda difficult to choose. RJ is a solid young player who scores a bunch, but isn't too efficient. He also has trouble shooting the ball. So I do think that RJ will become a star next year, considering he's playing under Tom Thibodeau and is going to develop a lot over the offseason. But for now, I can't rank him that high, so I feel like a solid B grade is appropriate for RJ. The next guy selected in the draft was Deandre Hunter at number 4. So if I'm being honest, I feel like Deandre Hunter has been a bit of a disappointment and hasn't played like we expected him to play. This season, Deandre is only averaging 12 points and 4 rebounds on okay efficiency. Not good. However, he hasn't been that terrible and he still has a tremendous upside, so I think a C+ grade would be perfect for Deandre's draft selection. Okay, so at the 5th overall pick, we have Darius Garland. Now, I think the Cavs' choice of drafting another point guard next to Collin Sexton wasn't that smart, but the hope was that Darius would playmake and shoot while Collin could score. Well, he hasn't done this really well since he is averaging barely 4 assists and is shooting league average from 3. Given these points, I think a solid C grade would be appropriate for Darius. Alright, so at the 6th overall pick, we have the first extreme bum of the video in Jarrett Culver. Now, I know he had a few games after the All-Star break where he had extremely strong efficiency, but I'm basing this grade off the whole season, and he definitely didn't play well before the All-Star break. Hopefully Jarrett can actually make shots next year, because when you only shoot 40% from the field, 30% from 3, and 46.2% from the free throw line, you're going to be out of the league soon. Given these points, Jarrett gets a poor D- grade for being a bust. Okay, now with the 7th overall pick in the draft, the Chicago Bulls drafted Coby White. Now, like Jarrett Culver, I know that Coby was balling right before the NBA shutdown, and if we base this grade on those games alone, he would easily be an A+. But we can't, so he's not that high. However, he was decent before the All-Star break, and he showed signs of being a very promising point guard. So given all these points, I think a B+ grade would be perfect for Coby. Now let's move on. Alright, so with the 8th overall pick, the New Orleans Pelicans selected Jaxson Hayes. Now, I'm not really sure how I should grade this pick. I could give it a high one since Jaxson Hayes has a ton of potential and showed flashes of being a great player. However, I could also give it a low one since he's only averaging 7 points and 4 rebounds. But in the end, I think I will go in the middle and give this selection a B grade. This will certainly go down if he does not get better next year though. Okay, now with the 9th overall pick, the Washington Wizards selected Rui Hachimura. So right off the bat, I know this selection is going to get a high grade. Rui has been extremely solid this year and he has shown flashes of being a future star. So based on all this, I think a nice A- grade is perfect for this selection. Now let's move on. Alright, now with the 10th overall pick, the Atlanta Hawks drafted probably the biggest bum of the video in Cam Reddish. So I'm just gonna say it, Cam has been a bust up to this point. I know he is still young and still has time, but he hasn't been good this season, it's as simple as that. So because Cam has been a bust, his selection is obviously gonna get a bad grade, so I think a D- represents this selection perfectly. So with the 11th overall pick in the draft, the Suns surprisingly selected Cameron Johnson. Now, don't get me wrong, Cameron definitely isn't a bust, and he's actually been pretty solid, but I feel like his potential isn't much, and his upside is definitely limited due to his age. Let's just say, I don't expect this guy to turn into a star. I feel like he's already very close to his peak, which is obviously a problem. So given all these points, I think a B- or C+ grade fits this selection best. Now let's move on. Okay, now with the 12th overall pick, the Charlotte Hornets drafted one of the most underrated rookies in PJ Washington. So I think it's amazing that the Hornets were actually okay this season, even after everyone thought they were going to be absolute trash, and PJ had a big part in this. His rookie season was actually very solid, and he showed signs of becoming a great player. Not to mention he was pretty efficient, and he has a lot of potential. So given all these points, I think an A- grade is perfect for this selection. Alright, now, with the 13th overall pick, the Miami Heat took the third best player in this draft in Tyler Herro. So I think we all know how good Tyler already is. He's a great shooter, pretty good scorer, and he has helped lead the Heat to the 3rd seed in the East. So obviously Tyler is going to get a high grade, but I don't think he's on the Zion level, so I think a still strong A grade is perfect for Tyler. I can see this grade going up in the future though. And finally, at number 14, the Boston Celtics drafted Romeo Langford. Okay, he's trash, easily F-. Alright guys, that just about wraps it up. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like, and if you are new, then please subscribe. Alright, that's it. Cue the outro.